We've had a heck of a lot of pushback about this hearing. We've had members of Congress who fought us. We've had members of the intelligence community and also the Pentagon. Even NASA backed out on us.
The big takeaway from the latest House Oversight Committee hearing into unidentified anomalous phenomena, or what we used to call UFOs, is that there remain a lot of questions as to what government knows about them.
We're not bringing little green men or flying saucers into the hearing. Sorry to disappoint about half y'all. We're just going to get to the facts. We're going to uncover the cover-up.
And some of those claims, which weren't corroborated, are eye-opening.
What concerns me is that there's no oversight from our elected officials on anything associated with our government processing or working on craft. Believe it, not from this world.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Fox News reports the Pentagon denies that claim as well as those of a cover-up. But in congressional testimony last year, the Pentagon did confirm it's studying unidentified objects. 3 witnesses gave testimony in the 2-hour session, which focused on implications for national security, public safety, and government transparency. During his opening statement, retired military pilot Ryan Graves said that all too often UAP witnesses find their credibility in question, and that excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden.
Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
Mr. Graves is one of those with first-hand experience of a UAP, and he described what happened.
In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squadron 11, the Red Rippers, and I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. At first, we assumed they were radar errors, but soon we began to correlate the radar tracks with multiple onboard sensors, including infrared systems, eventually through visual ID. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter.
Mr. Graves says that when the squadron submitted a safety report, there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Retired Commander David Fravor suffered a similar response with his experience, the now well-known Tic Tac incident of 2004.
What is shocking to us is that the incident was never investigated, none of my crew were ever questioned, tapes were never taken, and after a couple days it turned into a great story with friends.
Fortunately, a follow-up crew captured material of the UAP that he'd seen. But there is a downside.
What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the act of jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar.
You're not aware of any other objects that anybody in the world has, in this world, that has those capabilities.
No, I think it's far beyond actually our material science that we currently possess.
The extraterrestrial line of questioning continued with Nancy Mace, who referenced the UAP crash previously mentioned by Mr. Grush.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Undoubtedly, one of the most sinister turns in the hearing was when Mr. Grush was asked about his own safety.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Have anyone been murdered that you would that you know of or have heard of, I guess?
I have to be careful asking that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities. I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured.
By UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
There were a number of takeaways from the House Oversight session. All 3 witnesses said they believe that UAPs are a threat to U.S. national security.
The majority of witnesses are commercial pilots at major airlines. Often, they are veterans with decades of flying experience. Pilots are reporting UAP at altitudes that appear above them at 40,000 feet, potentially in low Earth orbit or in the gray zone below the Kármán line, making inexplainable maneuvers like right-hand turns and retrograde orbits or J-hooks.
Witnesses believe that an accessible central database needs to be set up to collect data on UAPs.
So if you just stuck it in DOD, you wouldn't get anything out of the Intelligence Committee because they have a tendency not to talk. So I think you need to develop something that allows you a central point to collect the data in order to investigate.
They also believe that protections need to be put in place so that when members of the military or members of the public come forward with information about UAPs, they don't end up getting stigmatized.
If everyone could see the sensor and video data I witnessed, our national conversation would change. I urge us to put aside stigma and address the security and safety issue this topic represents. If UAP are foreign drones, it is an urgent national security problem. If it is something else, it is an issue for science.